Welcome to The Book of Life, a show about Jewish books, music, film, and web. I'm Heidi Estrin. The Book of Life is a podcast service of the Feldman Library at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida. Additional support comes from the Association of Jewish Libraries. In January, I attended the Midwinter Council meeting of the Association of Jewish Libraries, where the winners of the 2013 Sidney Taylor Book Award for Jewish Children's Literature were officially announced. I asked Aimee Lurie, the awards chair, to step out into the hall for a quick interview about this year's winners. The full list of all award, honor, and notable Sidney Taylor books has been posted at bookoflifepodcast.com. I'll also post the schedule for the Sidney Taylor Book Award blog tour as soon as it becomes available. The blog tour will take place in February, and the home base for that event will be jewishlibraries.org/blog at the People of the Books blog. Also, I just wanted to let you know that this episode is being cross-posted on the Association of Jewish Libraries podcast at jewishlibraries.org/podcast. Mazel tov to all the authors, illustrators, editors, and publishers of these wonderful books. And now, let's get to the big reveal. So I'm here at the Midwinter Council meeting of the Association of Jewish Libraries with Aimee Lurie, who is the chair of the Sidney Taylor Book Award Committee. And Amy's going to tell us about this year's winners. It's a very exciting announcement.
Thank you, Heidi. I'm so excited to share the gold medal winners in each category. We have a terrific group of books, and for the teen category, the gold award goes to Deborah Heiligman, author of Intentions. Deborah is a prolific children's book writer, but this was her first fiction book. It's a coming-of-age story about a 16-year-old girl named Rachel who learns to cope when the adults in her life disappoint her and her friendships that she's had for her whole life begin to change. It's a story of forgiveness and finding your own way. Our gold medal winner in the older readers category is Louise Borden's His Name Was Raoul Wallenberg, a biography written in verse. It's filled with wonderful pictures, and readers can't help but be inspired by Wallenberg's heroism and courage to protect Jews during World War II. When I shared the news with Louise Borden, I asked her to keep the announcement confidential until we announced it at Midwinter, but she asked if she could share the news with Raoul's sister. And so I told her to please go ahead and do so.
Oh, very nice.
In the younger readers category, the winner is Hannah's Way by Linda Glasser, with illustrations by Adam Gustafson. It has a wonderful and unique setting in Minnesota during the Great Depression. A young Jewish girl has a difficult choice to make. Her entire class has a picnic on a Saturday, and she must decide if she can go, how she can go, when her teacher arranges a class carpool. And she is observant and will not ride in a car on the Sabbath.
And if I remember right, it turns out that her whole class in solidarity walks with her, so it's a beautiful, bridge building.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
The illustrations are outstanding. It has everything that you look for in a terrific picture book.
That's great, and it's great to get out of the Lower East Side and out of Shtetl for a change.
Exactly.
I think now pretty much all of the authors you've just named, we've had a relationship with through Sidney Taylor. Linda Glasser, however you say it, she did, I remember, a chapter book, Bridge to America. I don't remember if it maybe got an honor or a notable, but that was also based on a real family that had come to Minnesota from the old country, and the book was about that transition.
Right, and she did win an honor for her book about Emma Lazarus.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Okay, so she's done that, and then her illustrator, Adam Gustafson, didn't he illustrate... He illustrated something else. Maybe it was Yankee at the Seder?
I believe it was Yankee at the Seder.
Okay, yeah, so that was beautiful work.
If you liked Yankee at the Seder, you will enjoy and appreciate the work that he does in Hannah's Way.
And then Louise Borden, I believe, did the book about the history of Curious George and the Ray family that created Curious George and their escape from the Holocaust.
She did. You'll see that same level of scholarship.
And then Deborah Heiligman, I believe, got notable for at least 2 of her series for National Geographic about celebrating different Jewish holidays.
Yes.
Right, and those were gorgeous because, National Geographic, they had photos from Jews around the world, just beautiful photos.
Yes, well, I think fans of her nonfiction work are going to absolutely fall in love with her first foray into fiction writing. It is a compelling story with impeccable writing, and she really captures the voice of today's teenagers. So it's a terrific read.
So it's really exciting to see people whose work is continuing to develop in this wonderful way, that they're being recognized by the committee again, not because of like some old boys network or something, but because they're producing such quality content.
Right.
But also I know that we have at least one newcomer among the silver medalists. Isn't that true? A first-time author, is that right? Sherry Sinekin?
Isn't
she a new author?
This is her first picture book, but she has written for older readers.
Okay.
And you can't help but be touched after reading When Zadie Comes to Live. It's just such a beautiful and emotional story. And once again, Christina Swarner,
right, an old friend of ours.
An old friend. She really sets the standard. Her illustrations just perfectly capture the emotion and the innocence and the love of that story.
Right, yeah. And then who was the other silver medalist for picture books? The Elijah Door, is that right?
The Elijah Door is Linda Leopold Strauss and Alexei Natchev,
I think. And they're new for us.
Yes.
We have not awarded anything, but I don't know if they've written anything before.
Linda is an Ohio author, and Alexei's artwork will be on display. They both told me when I called to tell them the news, will be on display at Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati.
Cool.
So anyone in the area around Passover should definitely check that out. And I hope to get there myself at some point during my spring break that week. They are a wonderful combination of author and writer, and a terrific story.
Right. And great to see some newcomers to the field of Jewish picture books. And then we had some silver medalists for big kids too, right? So
yes.
What did we have?
Beyond Courage by Doreen Rappaport is a spectacular example of nonfiction writing. Terrific resources. You can tell her research was meticulous. It's an important book for every library about Jewish resistance fighters during World War II. An all-around fabulous book.
And what category did that get?
That
silver?
is in teen.
Teen.
For older readers, the honor goes to Anne Stampler for The Wooden Sword, a terrific folktale about the Jews in Afghanistan and how they lived with their Muslim neighbors. And it's just an inspiring story of faith. Anne has just a lovely author's note that I think is so important to share with readers that talks about the research she did and her process crafting the story.
Now this is in picture book format. Why did you decide that it needed to go in the older readers category?
Okay, that's a great question, Heidi. The length and I think the subject matter, to the committee we felt very strongly that it would work better for an older audience. And by putting that in older readers, we really want to make sure that librarians and parents know that this is a more sophisticated story.
So you say upper elementary through middle school?
Yeah, I think upper elementary through middle school. And those of us working in libraries know that picture books are great to share with 5th and 6th graders. And I think that this book could be the starting point to a fabulous discussion about faith.
So I know we also had some notable books this year. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have notable books in each of our 3 categories. For younger readers, you'll find some terrific holiday books, books about Shabbat, and a book about a police dog that only responds to commands in Hebrew. So we have a wide variety of choices that you can read about on our website. For notable books for older readers, we have Mirka, who you may remember from Hearville.
Yes, Hearville won the gold in the past, yeah.
Yes, she comes back, she meets a meteorite. We also have a book about a 7th grade psychic who communicates with her bubby. Lots of great stuff for older readers. And then our teen books are equally as strong. We have the conclusion to the Morris Gleitzman trilogy now, which is a very important book.
And that's a Holocaust-related series.
It is a Holocaust-related series, and for those familiar with it, this is really Felix's story of what happened to his life. And it's the story of his granddaughter, who just happens to be named Zelda.
Who readers will remember as a character in the earlier books.
Yes, and it is a contemporary story. So when we meet Felix, he is an older man, and readers, I think, will be very satisfied to know what happened to Felix.
And that's nice because most Holocaust stories take place just either during or after, and this covers, the whole series covers the entire lifespan of the survivor.
Right.
From the experience and then how it affects them later.
Yes, and then we have two great examples of historical fiction, Last Song by Eva Weissman and Rachel's Secret by Shelley Sanders.
Wonderful. So people can look at jewishlibraries.org for the AJL website, or if they look at SydneyTaylorBookAward.org, it'll actually take them right to that section of the website.
Correct.
And of course, we'll put it on our blog, we'll put it on Facebook, it'll be all over the place.
Yes.
Are we also doing a blog tour again this year?
We are doing a blog tour, and that's going to kick off in February. The great Barbara Krasner is coordinating that, and we are going to have some terrific interviews at different blogs in the blogosphere. So stay tuned for that.
Great. All right. Well, Aimee, thank you so much, and Mazel Tov on these amazing, exciting books.
Thank you, Heidi.
All right. There are so many ways to connect with the Book of Life. Fan us at facebook.com/Book of Life Podcast. Follow us at twitter.com/Book of Life Pod. Email us at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 561-206-2473. You can also listen to the latest episode by phone at 916-313-3820. And of course, find links to everything at bookoflifepodcast.com. The Book of Life is a podcast service of the Feldman Library at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida at cbiboca.org and is supported in part by the Association of Jewish Libraries at jewishlibraries.org. Our background music is provided by the Freilock Makers Klezmer String Band at freilockmakers.com. Thanks for listening and happy reading.